Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it is Wednesday the 28th. Serpent is not being rebalanced down. He is not going to be nerfed. Now, in this video, we're not going to talk about my thoughts, my opinions on that. If you're very interested in that, you can show up on a live stream. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. This one is, we got to accept this. This is the game we're playing. We want to have some fun. Let's learn how to beat up this guy. Let's beat the crap out of him so he doesn't even show up anymore. I'm going to show you a bunch of fights that I have taken with my favorite counters. And then at the end, I will redirect you to some videos, some from phenomenal content creators showing fights that they have done. If you want to jump straight to the fights, go ahead. There's a timestamp in the description. I'm sure I will link it and you can just jump straight to it. Otherwise, stick with me here. I'm going to go over the highlights on what I think is very important for you to know on how to successfully defeat this guy. I've messed up against him a ton of times. You're going to be seeing the highlights here from me, but I've gotten to the point where I'm actually pretty darn comfortable against him. Okay, the big thing, the absolute biggest thing for me, as far as once you get his animations down, it is the signature ability. And that's why I'm going to show you so many fights against a 6-star rank 5 ascended SIG 200. That's what I even choose to run in my Battlegrounds deck, because it's the signature ability. It's the blue point that is one of the most massive threats to Serpent, right? Once per fight, he's going to go immortal. And it's not even immortal. It's very clearly titled something else. He's going to gain a death immunity buff for 5 to 8 seconds based on the signature level there, right? And then we just had a minute. I'm going to show you this against where it's lasting for like 20 some odd seconds. This buff cannot be staggered nor nullified. For each dread consumed, this effect recovers 1.2% max health and grants power. So not only is he going to get more health, he's also going to get a massive amount of power depending on how much dread he's had. It's really big problem. And then also, and I can't see it in here, but I know it's in here. There's like a 100% chance. There it is. He has a 125% chance to consume all this and have this happen, which is why a lot of your neutralized champions, there's still a little bit of risk. And you want to be aware, right? Wiccan, Tiger, that's 100% neutralized, meaning there's still that 25% chance for Serpent to still trigger this ability. Now, let's go ahead and look at this other section, right? It is all his immunities. He gains immunity to Power Lock, Special Lock, Heal Block, and Fate Seal effects. So do not try them. They just aren't going to work. And he prevents his ability accuracy rate from being reduced by 50% by non-Mystic champions. Cool. Mystic champions can still do it, and we will definitely be showing those. But also, and I want to tell you this now, there is a Science champion who I've seen successfully take Serpent, and I will direct you to that as well. And then he's got the immunity to Cold Snap. And not a lot of people trying to take him with Cold Snap anyways, but I think the really important one here is don't try bleeding him. It's just not going to work out for you. It's reducing the duration of incoming bleed effects by 90%. His combat power rate is reduced by 30% and cannot be reduced further. Fine. He's reducing the potency of Power Drain and Power Burn. Just there's not a lot of stuff. Notice though, Power Steal, nowhere on here. We'll show you that, or we're going to at least direct you to that. And then there's this massive power gain, right? And it just gets going. And once he starts getting this power gain going, and then the worst part is when this buff ends or fails to activate, it goes on cooldown for 8 seconds, after which it triggers again. So this is just going to start happening. So even if you get rid of it, it's coming back. It is coming back. And if I remember correctly, it even gets stronger. I just can't find that in the kit at the moment. It's not one of the most important parts, I don't think. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over that. And then the other extremely important part here for you to know and get used to, and I will show you this too in the fights, is the special attacks. On activation, is going to gain this unblockable. So you got to get the heck out of the way. You got to get out of the way, but you can. I know you can. And then he's going to go unblockable, and then you cannot avoid this with the Dexterity Mastery. Do not try. It will not work out for you. There's a few champions that can kind of get around that a little bit. I think it's like Wiccan or something like that. But in general, for the most part, and a lot of the champions you're going to see me use today, we are not going to be trying to do that. And then now, if you just joined, you came directly to the fights, the one thing I want to make sure I point out is, one, if you're confused, go and listen to the thing. We went over all the highlights, all the big stuff you got to know on how to defeat him. The other one is you're essentially looking at a highlight video. I have spent a ton of time fighting this guy in Battlegrounds, War, various places. He's literally, I think, the final fight in War that got me to be like, I need to leave tier 1. I can't do this anymore. So I have failed so many times in this. I just don't have any of them on hand to put into this video, and I am sorry for that, because this is definitely meant to be helpful. You can do this. If I can do this, I really believe you can too. Let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to show them a variety of fights, SIG level, 7 stars, the whole thing. So my favorite counter to the shocking one is my rank 3 SIG 100 America Chavez with the the highest rank. Iron Fist relic you can get. And I know a lot of you are like, great, cool. So we just need to have a rank 3 America Chavez. Well, 2 things. One is, I realize not everyone has one. If you have the ability to have one, go get her. She's going to be phenomenal. She's amazing, and she is my favorite counter for Serpent. The other thing I want to call out here, if you're familiar with my Chavez videos, you know this. One of the things we talk about all the time is what's the biggest threat? And then make sure you play her according to that. So you're going to see me finish off my heavies so much. I am less concerned with getting up all of my zones. I'm letting my heavies finish. You can see the purple passive underneath my health bar. I'm going to get that stacking. I want that stacking because remember, Mystics can handle his power gain, right? It's just the non-Mystics. So, and this is the meta where all the buffs are lasting like 200% longer, some ridiculous number, which is going to make this even more challenging, but makes it even more important that when I kill basically like his first life before I send him immortal, I need to have up that negative zone. I need to absolutely have it to handle this power gain. Now, yes, he's getting all those armor up buffs. We're hitting a little bit harder than we normally would, but I'll show you without that. We do not hide the ball here on this channel. We never do it. I want you to see all. So now look, he was at 1 minute, 20 seconds in the fight when his death immunity triggered. Watch how long this lasts. And this is not his signature ability. This is his signature ability plus the node set of the meta. So this fight is significantly harder than it is without the nodes from the meta. Increasing it, you can see the power gain. It's not as big of a deal because I am keeping up my negative zones. This is why she's by far my favorite partner, my favorite counter to Serpent. He's putting that fear debuff on us, right? That's preventing unblockable. I think it's unblockable, right? So that's like clearly designed to hurt Tigra. And we ended up with a beautiful, beautiful score there. Really happy with that. I love you. She is my favorite against Serpent, okay? And like I said, we're going to continue to go over these threats. Don't worry. Now, this is one of my other favorite counters. Again, it's a rank 3. I get that. I'm not trying to tell you, like, just use your rank 3. I'm saying these are the champions that work exceptionally well, okay? This is going to be Kushala. Now, I do have the buff from Odin here, and I want to call that out. This is a shock and bleed. Kushala is immune to bleed. So if you face him on like a hazard shift, this is a champion you can definitely use. And if it's not hazard shift, you can use her the same way and you don't need Odin, all right? There's also the power focus too, so he's gonna be getting his power even faster, more specials to deal with. Now, why is Kushala so good for him? Well, remember, Kushala can block unblockable attacks if she's got her blue spell up. You get the blue spell from a well-timed block. So when you go to this fight, very similar to America Chavez, with America Chavez, you really want to make sure you're handling the power, right? Well, with Kushala, yeah, you want to get up all your spells, just like with Chavez, but you really want to make sure you've got the unblockable counter there. And you can see we're just taking these. Also, it helps to rejuvenate hits into the block. So that's why my health pool is so high right now. My health bar is so high despite taking all these hits to the block. The other thing that's a big threat with Serpent is his unblockable specials. In my opinion, until you're very comfortable with his moveset and his animations, feel comfortable not ending your combos. You might want to do it anyway because he's getting that power gain. The more combat power you're giving him, the closer he's going to get to 3 bars of power. But also, if you don't end your combo and you maybe do a 3-4 hit combo, as you're getting used to his moveset, you have time to back up, and that's what you're seeing me doing. Notice I am not dexing any of these specials. I am slowly moving out of the way. I think it's of his SP1, but we're not ready to talk about that yet. That was just the unblockable specials and the getting out of the way of them. Another very helpful part of Kushala is her specials don't take a terribly long time, but they're not excessively short either, which can be very, very helpful when he does go red, as you saw there, right? We had that planned, we were good to go. So now we're going to use Wiccan. This is a neutralized champion. Now his neutralize is only 100%. So we do need to be very aware that when we trigger the when the death immunity or whatever it's called, it's immortality basically. And I apologize if I don't remember the specific term. There's still a 25% chance for it to trigger. Now, when you do this fight, and I don't think this is one I play. Yeah, I have not played it perfectly. Ideally with Wiccan, I would have heavied there. So I heavied, which means I stole the power gain, right? I don't know if it's considered a nullifier or not, but essentially Wiccan can do that with his heavy. So now I have it. I've removed it from Serpent here. I am going to get up my neutralize, and I'm going to focus on keeping my spells up, right? We don't have the power control, but we do have the ability to neutralize his power gain, and we have the ability to utilize that against him, which we are doing right now. If and when he does get his power gain, if we can, we are going to heavy it. And I don't recall, and I apologize, I don't recall if this is the fight where I'm going to go to my SP3. I hope it is. I had a couple really nice fights with Wiccan, and I think I put them both in. So I do apologize that as we're in the middle of this fight. It looks like it's not going to be that one because this was a 6-star champion instead of a 7-star. And you can see the other thing we're utilizing with Wiccan is we're backing up, we're holding the block, and we're bringing up the spell. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the thing that allows us to block unblockable attacks from cosmic champions. Right there are neutralized. So when you do get close to finishing off Serpent, you want to make sure you have your neutralized up, because you might as well, even though it's not guaranteed, you might as well take advantage of that 100% chance to completely cancel out the death immunity there, right? Let's see, what is it actually called? We should figure that out. Yeah, it is death immunity. Great. So now we're going in with America Chavez, and I wanted to show you this because this is a 7-star now, and I wanted to show you how much removing his signature ability. So when you fight a non-awakened Serpent, you do not need to be nearly as scared. You see, I got well out of the way of his special, gave him plenty of space for him to throw the first big whiff of his special one. He just completely misses it. You will and can learn the timing where you can actually back out of the second part as well too, and therefore, yeah, I think I'm not doing it there. Therefore, you take very little damage from it. With Chavez, if you're not too worried about the power gain, because there's nothing enhancing the signature ability too crazy, you can actually get up all of her spells and then go into your special 2, throw the heavy, and after the second hit of the heavy, you throw your special 2, and you're gonna get that really nice heal back. There you go. That was a really high score against a 7-star Serpent. Another potential answer, and I will show you Werewolf against a signature 200, signature ability 200 Serpent, but here we go, Werewolf, right? And I've shown this in, I think in my Unawakened Werewolf showcase, is he's a fantastic counter. One of the reasons he's a fantastic counter is, remember, Werewolf has that ability, I think it's when he's in his like Anthropy chart, I can't think about it, it's like the Howl, when he goes crazy basically, right? When he gets all his rage. I've done the Werewolf video, I will link that in the description so you can check that out and get all the correct terms. But basically, when the opponent has buffs, his SP2 is going to hit harder. And not only that, but he keeps up that phase. I can't think of, hopefully it'll pop up right here for us. Curse of Lycanthropy, there it is, okay? So when we're in this stage and you're back away from a defender who has those buffs, it stays paused, which is why we are still up there. He is a fantastic, fantastic counter for Serpent. I will show it against the signature ability, so we have to be aware of the death immunity. But right here, and then we're unblockable, so we can use our striker, and we are buying time for all of our ruptures to essentially just crush this Serpent, and there's nothing Serpent can do. I was not worried about him having a red bar of power because we're unblockable, we're going into our striker, and Werewolf specials last forever, right? And that's something we're talking about. When you have something like that, it can really help you get through a fight. So it's a 50,000 score, and then if not the very next fight, we're gonna yeah, here it is, cool. So here's the same rank 3 Werewolf against a rank 5 signature 200. And I know some of you are like, hey, but we're eventually gonna fight 7-star rank 3 signature 200 Serpents. You're absolutely correct, we will. You're absolutely correct. Slow down a little bit, bait a few more specials, you'll still get there. America Chavez will still handle the power gain for you. Kushala will still do her thing. Wiccan will still do his thing. The fight's just gonna take a little bit longer, okay? So keep that in mind. I just don't have any fights against a 7-star rank 3 signature 200. So here we go. We're gonna continue off with the same thing. We have now triggered the Curse of Lycanthropy, and this is what I wanna show you is I do a pretty good job of lining up my specials. Werewolf's power gain is strong enough where it's not too bad once you get used to it. So that way you have the nice, look at this, he's at 40% health when this starts, and we're going unblockable. Fade out the special attack here, and then now we're gonna go in, and I can't recall. Okay, so yeah, I remember this is perfect. We actually got stuck. Now, in my like analysis after the fight, I think I should have just gone in. I really do. But we didn't. We baited it, and then watch how we're going to finish this off. So Serpent runs in. Right there, I know he was choosing to either throw it or not. He runs in. We parry. We're going to use our special 2. You see how absolutely long this lasts. We have more than enough time. Serpent could have had a tremendously significant more health there. I know I didn't phrase that properly, but that special 2 lasted so long and would have done so much damage that we would have finished off that Serpent. I want to be abundantly clear. I am not saying in no way, shape, or form, he's easy. Look, no. What I'm saying is he's clearly not being rebalanced. There's nothing we can do about it. I still really enjoy this game. Here are all the counters I have found to have tremendous success with. Tremendous. I truly believe if I can do this, so can you. You're just going to have to practice. I know I definitely had, for every highlight you're seeing in here, there's like 50 fights that went horribly wrong for me while I was learning these evades and the unblockable and all these various things and timing it. And I still today, every once in a while, one of those unblockable specials will catch me, which is one of the reasons why I do like Kushala form so much. Because if I can remember to keep up that one spell, then even if I mess up a little bit and I don't get out of the way of the special, I will still block it. Now, I told you that there were other options, and there are. I just don't have them, or I'm not very good at them. Bitter Steel, I will link this in the description. And he did a phenomenal showcase with White Tiger. You can go straight to it. He does timestamps. You can see how great White Tiger is against Serpent. And while you're there, you can subscribe to a fantastic channel and also learn how to use White Tiger. It takes like 30 meta champions. It's outrageous. In the latest Vega Battlegrounds Championships, my Vega Battlegrounds Championship series, FinTech went up against Andy. I will not spoil the result for you, but I will link that as well in the description. Andy uses Tigra multiple times to beat up on a Serpent. It's really, really cool. Fantastic, fantastic play. Ultra high skill, okay? And then FinTech himself uses, yes, Luke Cage. We've been telling you for a long time, Luke Cage is a great champion. You can use him to beat up Serpent. Again, those are 2 of 3. All of the players I'm naming are some of the best players in the world. But hey, they're putting out the outline there for us and the way to do it. We can go there, we can learn from them, and we can try to our best to learn those matchups and have some success and have some fun too. So Luke Cage there. And then none other than Barrowman. I will link his video in the description. I imagine some of you have probably already seen all of these, but still, just in case you have not, utilizing a variety of options, many of which we've shown here in this video, but the one that I did not show and I have is Symbiote Supreme. So you see Barrowman's video, you can jump straight to the Symbiote Supreme part if you want to. Make sure you watch the whole video. That's good for the creator there, the watch duration. And so there are a variety of options on how to beat this guy. Will it always be easy? Absolutely not. In fact, I almost guarantee it will never be easy. Will it always be pretty? No. But can you do it? Yeah, I do. I believe 100% you can. Thank you so much for watching. If you think there's anything we got wrong, or if there's anything you really thought we got right, put that in the comment section. Let's all help each other out. And like I said, if you're really interested in my thoughts on the rebalance decision, all that stuff, show up on a live stream where we can really have a chat about it and just kind of get through it together and talk about it. Thank you so much for watching, and huge thank you to my Discord server. Without you, this video probably would have been pretty crappy. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.